Good morning, children. Let's learn about elements, compounds, and mixtures. So, in our last video, we saw about the elements. So, once again, I'm just revise the element. So, there are elements. These are the pure substances that are found in nature. So, a substance whose molecules are made up of one or more atoms which are exactly alike. These are elements. There are total 118 elements found in the nature, from which 92 elements occur in nature. Then while the remaining are man-made. So hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, carbon, iron, mercury, copper are the some important natural elements. Okay, so the elements are generally classified into two groups, that is metals, non-metals. So metals shows the property of malleability, ductility, conductivity, heat and electricity, then density, luster and sonority, whereas the non-metal does not shows these properties. Okay, the substances which shows the property of both metals and non-metals, they are metalloids. Okay, so this is about the metals, elements. So now today's our topic is we are going to learn about the compounds. So elements we saw, mixtures we saw, now compounds. What are compounds? Compounds contain two or more kinds of atoms. Means element compound में क्या होते हैं? Two or more kinds of atoms chemically combined in a fixed proportion. For example, take an example of water. Water is compound. Okay, water, sugar. Okay, then table salt. Salt is also a compound. So water का formula है H2O is water. Sugar C6H12O6. Okay, and salt NaCl, sodium chloride. Okay, so these are the compounds. Lots of compounds found. So water, sugar, salt. How the water is obtained? One molecule of hydrogen and two molecule of oxygen. Okay, then sugar forms C6H12O6, that is 6 molecules of carbon, 12 molecules of hydrogen and 6 molecules of oxygen that combine together and form a sugar compound. Then salt, NaCl, sodium chloride, 1 molecule of sodium, 1 molecule of chlorine. So, okay, so these are compound. A typical compound always contains the same element in fixed proportion. For example, water always contains hydrogen and oxygen here in the ratio of 2:1, regardless of the state of source of water. The properties of compound are different from the properties of constituent elements. Hydrogen is element, oxygen is element. So, but when that combine with and form the water molecule, its constituent is different. So, hydrogen gas is inflammable and oxygen is requisite for combustion. Okay, children. So, find out which of the element are metals and which are the non-metals and which are malleable. So it's your activity. Then when you take a sugar in a test tube and heat the test tube, observe what happens, what remains behind. You see when you burn the sugar, so it's water evaporate through the sugar. And in first case, the sugar melts and then it loses water, leaving behind a black substance. This black substance is a carbon. So How many elements in sugar made? So you know the carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. So carbon left is there. The substances formed by the chemical combination of two or more elements is called compound. Once again, I am repeating the definition. The substance formed by a chemical combination of two or more elements is compound. So another example, a substance is a compound only if its molecules are made up of atoms of different types. Okay. So water is a compound. One molecule of water is made up of two atoms of hydrogen and one atom of oxygen. So water is formed. Understood? Now hydrogen is a combustible substance. Hydrogen is combustible substance, that is, it burns. You know, the substances are also classified into combustible substances and non-combustible substances. The substances which burns, that are called combustible substances. Paper, wood, these are combustible substances. And the substances which cannot burn, they are non-combustible substances. Oxygen helps combustion, but water, which is formed by the combination of hydrogen and oxygen, is used to extinguish the fire. You know, we know that we learned from the previous classes, the oxygen helps burning. But when it forms, when it combusts, then hydrogen is combustible. How the water molecules form? H2O. उसमें hydrogen is combustible है, and oxygen is also help for burning. But when it form the compound, when the hydrogen combines with oxygen and form H2O, H2O is water, but water does not support burning. Water is used to extinguish the fire. Understood? So total properties of change when it forms in a compound. When hydrogen combines with oxygen, it forms the water molecule, and it used to extinguish the fire. Okay. In other words, the properties of compounds are different from those of the constituents elements. Understood? Like an element, a compound is also written in an abridged form. A molecule of compound is formed by a chemical combination of atoms of two or more elements. Therefore, a molecular formula is used to represent the compound. A molecular formula of a compound is a short form of its name written with the help of symbols of constituents, elements, and the number of their respective atoms. For example, in sugar, we have written C6H12O6. So, when these combine 6 molecules of carbon, 12 molecules of hydrogen, and 6 molecules of oxygen, then combine together and form a sugar molecule, sugar compound. Okay. So here C means carbon, H means hydrogen, and O means oxygen. Understood? So many compounds, water is compound, its constituent elements and molecular formula of various compounds such as salt. Salt means NaCl, alum, blue vitriol, ammonium chloride, baking soda, chalk, and washing soda. So you have to find out its constituent elements, symbols, and number of atoms. So that is homework for you, page number 96. Okay. Then mixtures. Mixture means when you prepare a sharbat, when you prepare a bhel, when you prepare a chuda, you use various things and you mix it, means you get a mixture. So sharbat, when you prepare, so what you have to require for to prepare a sharbat? You need water, some amount of you need salt, then you add some sugar, and also you add some lemon juice, and you mix it properly. Okay, so a mixture is formed by mixing different elements or compounds. So the proportion of various components in a mixture is not fixed. Okay, you required small quantity of salt, you required more quantity of sugar to add the taste. Okay, so its proportion is not fixed in a mixture. जैसे कि air is a mixture, air में क्या है, proportion fix है क्या? No. Nitrogen 78%, oxygen 21%, other gases are also present. इसमें से भी water vapor ज़्यादा होती है. So its proportion is not fixed in a mixture. No chemical change takes place during the formation of mixture, and no new substance is formed. So you might remember that mixing unwanted substances in any foodstuff is called adulteration. So adulteration matlab jab substance mein, when you eating substance, so that add some unwanted constituents, so that your food becomes spoiled or your food becomes not healthy to eat. So that is called adulteration. So when mixing unwanted substances in any foodstuff, that is called adulteration. You already learned in your previous lesson. In other words, an adulterated foodstuff is also a kind of mixtures. When an unwanted and harmful substance is mixed with another substance, the resulting mixture no longer remains useful. In such cases, we separate the unwanted ingredients from the mixture. For this purpose, simple and easy methods as such straining, means filtering we use, shifting, picking, sorting, winnowing, combing with a magnet, and sublimation are used. So various methods of separation we use to separate the things from a mixture. Okay, जैसे कि चाय है, हम लोग चाय बनाते हैं, उसमें टी लीव्स मिक्स होती है. So tea leaves they are insoluble in the tea. So we separate by using the sieve. छन्नी से हम लोग चाय डालते हैं, छानते हैं और उसको सेपरेट करते हैं. Then when जब गेहूं होते हैं, चुनती है, तो उसमें से क्या होता है, unwanted things are present in the wheat. So we first sieve, then we pick out the stones from the wheat. So it's a hand picking method. Then sorting method also there. अगर सब्जियां है बहुत सारी एक साथ है, दाल मिक्स हुई, तो हम लोग उसको एक एक दाल अलग करते हैं, उससे सॉर्ट आउट करते हैं. So there are the various methods to separate the mixtures. We have learnt about the properties of matter and the effects of it. These properties are also used for separating the components of a mixture. Okay, see here some picture is given. Pictures are given. So in first case, winnowing, then hand picking method, sieving method, churning method. See here, various methods are given to separate the mixture. One is magnet is also used to separate the magnetic substances from the non-magnetic substances. So these are the some methods of separating the components of a mixture. Okay, children. So this is about the elements, compounds, and mixtures. We learned the basic difference from elements, compounds, and mixtures are: elements consist of one kind of only atom, whereas the compounds consist of two or more different elements chemically bound together in a fixed ratio. And mixture consists of two or more different elements and or compounds. Then elements can exist either as atom or as molecule form. Then properties in compounds में उसकी basic properties are different from its constituent elements, and in mixtures retain many properties of its compounds. Okay, elements cannot be broken down into simpler type of matter by either physical or chemical means. Then compounds can be broken down into simpler type of matter, that is chemical means, but not by physical means. Okay, they mixed with each other. So components can be separated by physical means in a mixture. Okay, so examples of elements, where elements are there: hydrogen, carbon, gold, silver, copper, aluminium. Okay, these are various elements. Compounds: water, salt, sugar, carbon dioxide. These are various compounds. Then mixtures: air is mixture, soil is mixture, and alloy is also a mixtures. Okay, so here we differentiate from elements, compounds, and mixtures. So next video we will continue with new topic. So bye everyone.